Okay, so Darren, myself, Lucia have taken it upon ourselves to kind of share some of the things we've seen, some of the highlights to show how much we appreciate our staff, to just acknowledge some of the things that our staff have been doing and what you guys have been doing. And we just wanted to say thank you and just to help you kind of kick off your Christmas, your holidays here. We just wanted you to enjoy those by letting you know how much we appreciate you. So first things first, each one of us have a list of things that we've noticed, and so we may not hit every staff member personally, each one of us, but together we've hit all of the staff members that we've seen over the past few weeks here. We've tried to keep it within December, so the last few weeks here. And so what you're gonna see is a couple of videos here of us kind of sharing what we've seen and how much we appreciate you guys. And so I'm going to start off my list. The top of my list, I have Gloria Alvarado. So Gloria is a studette. She slipped and broke her wrist. Didn't realize she broke her wrist. Showed up to class and went to 2 different classes to support our students. And it just happened that Mike Davis was in there, so to support our subs, with a broken wrist, in pain, before she went and got checked out. And so I just want to give her a shout out for that's tough that she came to class, 2 different classes, supported our subs, supported our EL students who are in some of the most needs right now, and supported the heck out of them with a broken wrist. So keep her in your thoughts and prayers. It's still broken. I think she's healing. So, but she is awesome. I just want to give her a shout out right there. Next one I have on my list is Barcenas. I watched Barcenas in a class the other day. The class was a math class, obviously, because she's a math teacher, for those of you that don't know her. She was able to use a strategy that I hadn't seen yet and was kind of sweet. And so what she did, she brought her document camera home. So she brought her document camera home, hooked it up to her computer. So as she's streaming herself and talking through the different problems that we're working on in math, she's got her hand under the document camera, got a picture of a graph working an exponential function. Now, as a recovering math teacher, I understand exponential functions, and they're a little bit tough. And I'll tell you right now, she rocked it. It was awesome to be able to see her intonation, just the way she's, facial expressions, that type of stuff. At the same time, see her hand working out that problem. And then above and beyond that, what she did was she took the snipping tool in Windows, cut out sections of it, stuck it on a Google document, had students or put a prompt under the picture she had taken or a question under the picture she had taken, and had students answer the question. And what she did there was, you know how you get IDK, I don't know, that type of stuff. What she did was she prompted them to say, put I don't know if you don't know, and expand on that. Get some more detail, because the biggest crux or one of the hardest things to deal with is no information whatsoever. I can deal with a student that turns in really bad work because I know where they're at. I deal with a student who's mediocre or is rocking it, but it's hard to work through the different issues with a student who doesn't turn anything in, because I don't know what they know or what they don't know. And she kind of took that out of there by allowing them to put that, to still have that crutch a little bit, but also to expand on it so she knows where they're at, so she can help them even if they don't know really where they're at. And so that I just want to shout out for Robin, and just the unique way she did that, but also I just want to shout out that she's providing opportunities for kids to continue to expand on what they don't know. Next one I want to highlight is Letty Enriquez. So she's one of our paras for special ed. And she took time out of her day the other day to help with some assessments that we needed to get a student taken care of here in the district. And so she took time out of her day and stepped up as a great team member here and just took over and helped make sure that kid got the assessment he needed. And it was awesome. So a big shout out to Letty and what she did there. I appreciate it. We appreciate it. It helped us help that student. The next one I have on my list is Raphael. So Raphael has been here since day one, has been working with students and parents in the migrant program. He's also been supporting with the support team with Lucia and Ivalani and Krishna and some others. But above and beyond that, he has been reading for students. What he's been doing is reading and recording himself reading, and actually Kristen has been helping him by recording them, has been reading books in 20-minute snippets to get out to students so that students can read or be read to for 20 minutes each night. So we've been sending that out to the migrant students and their parents, and we've been encouraging them to do it as a family, but they can do it individually as well. But he's been doing that in Spanish, and right now he's almost done with his second book in Spanish, reading to our students. So he read Esperanza Rising, and now he's almost done with the book Wonder. And so he's working through a couple of books here, and we're working on picking out the third book that we'll start in January. So cool deal. If you want something to right before bed, just kind of listen to Raphael, because the guy's got a perfect voice for reading out loud. And I'm pretty sure Krishna falls asleep just about every time she records him. So just a note. Okay, next one, Bob Gaston. I have been watching Bob Gaston. We watched him teach. Me and Terry Davison walked into his class. And what I mean by walk is we jumped in on a meeting. And so we watched him work in his Google Meet with a group of students. And what I saw was a use of a Jamboard that was awesome. It was awesome the way he set it up. It was awesome the way he kind of tracked the different students throughout the time that they were working. And I love the idea of using a Jamboard essentially like kids are working on their own Jamboards. And it's no different than walking through a classroom and making, talking to each kid, because you can look at each kid's work and just kind of cue them. And so I loved seeing the Jamboard use. I loved I hadn't seen that yet. And then the key piece was he was teaching math with that. So something he's already uncomfortable with and was rocking it. So I want a big shout out to him for what he's doing there, and nice job. So the next one I have on my list is, let's see, Krishna. Krishna Montalvo's been here with the migrant group as well, so I've been working with Raphael since day one. But Krishna just recently started bringing in small groups of migrant students to support them, to provide them with a quiet environment, to provide them with solid internet, provide them with food if they're here for a couple hours at a time, to just get support. And she's been work coordinating with parents. And so I just want to give a shout out to Krishna, because she's been managing in that, making sure it's safe, and being able to work through and keep kids separate, that type of stuff through this whole virus thing. And so I just want a huge shout out to Krishna for taking that on and rocking it. And so she's been working with kids since, it's been a couple weeks at least, and she's been nailing it. So I just want to give a big shout out to her for supporting our kids, some of them that are the most needy right now. Next one on my list, here we go. Let's see who we got now. Okay, Trish Nash. I just want to give a huge shout out to Trish Nash. Now, our Viking colors here, purple and gold. Now, I know that the Huskies stole those colors from Mapton High School. Regardless, though, it's awesome to see purple and gold in our building. About 8 years ago, she started painting purple and gold. She started with the pillars in the commons area, and she has worked her way throughout the building since. Well, in the time that you guys have been gone, she has been going to town with it. So she painted in the gym a little bit more. She's got purple and gold on the whole bottom section of the gym. She put purple and gold all over the place in the door jambs for all the different doors in our building. So she is just crushing it. And so I just want to give a huge shout out to Trish for painting like a boss and cruising through that. So big shout out to Trish. Thank you very much. And the last one I have is Lupe. Most of you probably don't know Lupe. Lupe is filling in the position for the custodial work because Sally Garza retired. And so since Sally retired, Lupe's been filling in. And I'll tell you right now, Lupe has been a godsend. And let me give you a couple examples of how she's handling things. So I'm going to turn this camera. I have been turning it the whole time, probably making you sick. Those right there, the different footboards or kickboards that you have along the baseboards, the bases of the flooring and the wall there. I've never seen someone clean those, except for Lupe. So let me just tell you that she is making sure this place is sparkling. And another shout out, not all the lights are attached to the ceiling. Some of them have a gap there. The other day she was cleaning on top of them and it was disgusting. And she was handling that like a boss also. And so I just want to give a big shout out to our our crew that's been cleaning. Trish has been painting, Lupe and Trish have been cleaning like crazy, keeping this place sanitized, and they have been doing an awesome job. This is not all we've seen, so both Darren and Lucia have additional videos that you'll see subsequently here, and I just want you to know that we appreciate you guys. We want you to know that you're awesome, that you're appreciated, and keep rocking it. We'll talk to you soon.
Hey guys, I just wanted to say that I'm going to miss you guys the next 2 weeks, but I hope you have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year alongside with those you're able to spend time with. I want to take this opportunity to give a couple of staff shout outs. The first one to Tony Cantu for advocating for our ELL students by suggesting strategies that may help the students better, and also for allowing herself to take a risk and be involved in our small cohort group process that we're going to start next month. Also for Chris, our kitchen person, checking in with our students to make sure they're fed, taken care of, and lending me utensils when I need them. I wanted to give a shout out also to Mrs. Macias, who has supported our newly arrived students with expectations and online format, as well as supported ideas of student placement. To Mary Marquez, always willing to walk into the building with a smile and cheer everyone else around her. She has amazing jokes too. For Cassandra Martinez, doing weekly check-ins with students on her own time. Lindsay Medrano, setting up parent meetings with high-needs students that make sure they're successful during the day. Dave Mendoza, researching a new option for our students to earn college credit via the Modern States course he's offering. And I know that he's gonna just kill it. Michelle Roth, you're rocking online school. You're calling parents, constantly emailing students, sending progress notes to myself and the admin on how things are going. Gabino Sanchez, helping me and Krishna finish a math formula when we needed a reminder on how to do it. Even though it was your day off, you answered our phone call. Mr. Surmeyer, being willing to serve students by having an extra class this term. And finally, Mr. Sustaida, for giving his robotic students a hands-on take-home project that they are starting to turn in, and they're looking amazing. I hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Hey guys, so I wanted to take some time to highlight some staff that are just totally killing it. Like, they are doing awesome. So first, Sarah Klaus, I am so impressed with the fact that you recognize that your students kind of struggled with one of your lessons, and so you went back to the drawing board and came up with some other strategies and some other ideas to ensure that your students got what they needed and the skills that they needed to be successful, and retaught that lesson, and it was so good. So awesome. Thank you for doing that. Quentin, you took a risk doing breakout rooms, and I think your other colleagues can probably attest to the fact that that is something new and difficult for students to navigate, and it takes a lot of maturity and responsibility on their part, but you set that up really well. You had high expectations for them, and you were checking in on them, and while it wasn't perfect, it was really good, and I think it really helped them to own that thinking and own that learning, and I'm really excited about it. Hannah, you were given, it seems like 2 different classrooms, right? You have a fairly high achieving class, and then the next period you have a class that is struggling to keep up and to learn. You're taking a lot of time to make sure that your students have the skills and resources necessary by scaffolding and making adaptations and accommodations for your students who are struggling, but also for your students who aren't struggling. So those high achieving students, you are putting in a lot of work as well to make sure that they are being pushed. Next, I'd want to recognize Jen Harris. Jen has been at almost every single IEP meeting that I've been a part of. And she's not just there to be there, but she is really being active in those IEPs and making sure that students are getting all of the tools and the resources necessary to be successful. And she's really advocating for students. And I know that sometimes it can feel like it's just one more thing to have to do, or not as important as the other work that we're doing. And so I just want to recognize Jen. So I just want to say thank you, Jen, for taking time out of your schedule to help those students who are furthest from justice. I also want to recognize Gloria Martinez. She has jumped right into material and lessons and content that she probably didn't think she would be teaching. So she jumped into middle school math and has been doing an awesome job. And not only that, but she has taken on even more responsibility by becoming our migrant tutor for math in the afternoons after school. So I know that it's a lot of work, and you are doing a lot of extra time and planning and working with students, but it is so valuable for them, and I really appreciate you doing that. I want to thank Vicky. Vicky has been my go-to for Skyward, and I may be fairly tech savvy. I wouldn't say that I'm really tech savvy, but whatever. But Skyward just doesn't make sense to me. Anybody else? Like, who designed that? But Vicky has been great in showing me where to find information and how to work with Skyward so that I can do my job. So thank you, Vicky. Eva, you are amazing. If nobody's told you that lately, you are. Thank you so much for how much you care about our kids and all of the phone calls and reaching out and text messages and emails to make sure that our struggling students have someone who is advocating for them and someone who is helping to mentor them and push them and encourage them to be successful. You have great relationships with some of our most difficult students, and so I really appreciate what you bring to our school. Charlene, what a surprising woman. I mean, who knew that she face paints in her spare time? We learned that quickly when she, without any sort of resources, made the best face painting tiger on her own face live. What was that? But I want to recognize Charlene for all of the work that she puts in to encourage students who struggle to engage with school and be successful in school. And she has gone out of her way to build in systems of support and incentives for students. She has been doing PBIS before PBIS was a thing. And she is seeing the successes of all of that time and energy put into that. I'm going to say though, Charlene, I might borrow some of your cool prizes because they look like fun. I also want to recognize Candy for all of the hours and hours and hours you've put into helping to design and build curriculum. It's not something that we necessarily wanted to do in the middle of a pandemic, but thank you for putting in all of that effort. Next up is Leah. Leah is like my PBIS champion. She is consistently like awarding like 600 points a week. She is doing awesome. So Leah, thank you for encouraging students to have that positive behavior and highlighting all of the good things that our students do. Not to mention that you are teaching music, you're teaching guitar online. I don't even know how that's possible, but you're doing such an awesome job, and thank you for being so committed to our students. Next up is Phillip. Phillip has gone headfirst into the AD role, and what a year to be doing that. So not only is he learning all the ins and outs of being an AD, but he's doing all of that in a world that doesn't make sense. And he has done it with a lot of patience and a lot of perseverance as he learns systems and as he learns how to advocate for our students and for us. But thank you, Phillip, for all you're doing to help keep sports alive in Mabton. Lucia, what can you say about Lucia? Like, we would be lost without her. scheduling, wow, what a hot mess to try to figure out. And you handled that with grace for your leadership. Thank you, because yikes, we're still figuring this out as we go. But thank you for being an encourager to staff and students, and just being a place that people can kind of land and have a safe space to just share their feelings and their thoughts. I just really appreciate that. I want to recognize Teresa for calling or hounding, borderline stalking kids to ensure that they are attending school online, and making sure that when they come to the school that they're getting the resources and the materials that they need, and doing that all while tracking attendance. And as the attendance rules change, she's handling that really well. So thank you, Teresa, for all you do. I don't even know all you do, but thank you. Next, I want to recognize Mr. Wall. You have a really cool first name. You spelled it wrong, but it's a cool first name. Thank you for being a resource and a help to your colleagues, and always being willing to share your vast expertise in teaching and ELA. And I really appreciate seeing some of my favorite novels being passed out and read by students, except for Frankenstein. Snooze. I want to thank Isaac for helping me when I had a flat tire, because I am mechanically helpless, and he helped me to get some air in it at the shop. Thank you so much for pointing it out to me, because I didn't realize, and for helping me get it fixed. You're awesome. Thanks. Amy, thank you so much for all that you do for our life skills kids. They are lucky to have you in their lives because of how you help them and advocate for them. Thank you so much. Kruger, wow, what a time to be new to a building, trying to do PE online, which is so difficult, and doing all of that without knowing anybody, and being able to connect with people. So thank you for all that you do with our PE department, and look forward to getting that back to normal. Robin, hope you're feeling better. Thank you for feeding our kids and feeding our families, and putting in all that hard work to ensure that those go out smoothly. We really appreciate it. And finally, I want to recognize Cherie. Cherie, you have jumped into a brand new curriculum, brand new everything, and you have been giving your best effort to stick to that and to help students succeed. So thank you for how you love our students and care about them. And this is a secret shout out, because he purposely didn't put himself on the list, but I'm going to make sure that he gets a shout out, is to our fearless leader, Caleb. Thank you for how much you care about staff, and care about students, and care about education. Thank you for putting up with all of my strange requests and questions and misunderstandings. And this is a secret shout out, because he purposely didn't put himself on the list, but I'm going to make sure that he gets a shout out, is to our fearless leader, Caleb. Thank you for how much you care about staff, and care about students, and care about education. Thank you for putting up with all of my strange requests and questions and misunderstandings. And I can't imagine Mabton Junior Senior High School without you in leadership and at the helm. So I am so glad that I joined this year as you make your comeback. So again, thank you so much. I know that the staff and the students love and care about you and appreciate you. And thank you for what you do. And of course, I want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, be safe, rest, enjoy yourselves, and we'll see you in 2021.